rape accusations, death threats,
use deadly force,
sexual misdeeds.
I mom on a regular basis.
This is the story of Isom. No, not the International School of Ministry, but the comic by Eric July. You're going to see how Eric July, a creator with over 500,000 followers, sicked his fans on a small indie creator for offering a disagreement in an unrelated thread. Tonight, on Sifting Through the Trash, with your host, JJ Trujillo. Interestingly, despite Eric's aggression at this time, Ethan was still trying to put the brakes on a potential conflict. Eric wrote an essay on Twitter about Ethan Van Sciver claiming that Ethan was trying to dethrone Eric and reclaim his title as Emperor of Indie Comics. Ethan's chat made multiple references to this throughout the stream.
Android33 says, Happy New Year to the literal Emperor of Indie Comics. EVS, this is my monthly tribute to stay in your good graces, as you literally are the Emperor. Wow. The Emperor? Do I really have that kind of power in indie comics? Wait a second. You're telling me that in indie comics, a community that's run by crowdfunding and the good graces of a loyal, consistent, wonderful, very kind and generous subscriber, fan, customer base, that I could rule over that? You don't say. Listen, I don't want to let that kind of power go to my head. You guys have to keep me in check. That's the important thing. That's your job, is to keep me in check. Thinking that I could be the Emperor of Comics, according to some. Or, I think they were saying that I think I'm the Emperor of Comics. The Emperor of Comics. Oh my goodness, guys. What a weird world that we live in. Gay Emperor says they're being deposed as a comic emperor, says just Kevin Ryan. All right, yeah. Listen, I'm trying to steer clear of that. Nine Ninja says, thank the Lord he is back. It's a New Year's miracle. Rippa's ego is way too enormous and way too fragile. Unfounded pride leads to a fall. 2024 should be interesting. Oh, shit.
They were trying to rope Ethan into a conflict. Ethan says he wanted to stay clear of that drama. While he avoids to speak about Eric's claims against him, he does highlight a conflict Eric had with a smaller indie creator that Ethan had taken under his wing months prior. As previously mentioned, Eric was now on a warpath not just against Ethan, but anyone who seemed to disagree with him. B.A. Turner, author of the novel Vigilante's Creed, explains what happened here.
Take a look at B.A. Turner's post here. All right, so this is what caused the crisis on Infinite, I don't know, Twitter, social media. What happened here? You explain this to me.
This all stemmed from July's sudden post last week saying that absolutely no creator should ever ask for promotion. You should not beg. And he went on his, novel long rants about that. And then he made this video about saying, again, you're owed no support. And then this Rippa-simp had taken a screenshot from another tweet where basically the discussion was simply about the same thing, right? Oh. This started off of another tweet where, Rippa said he did everything organically. He never ever received help. He never ever asked for anything, which you've already debunked. But nevertheless, I responded and basically said, yeah, he built it from music. He built it from politics, but he did not build his success from Isom, from comics, from writing, or being a comic creator. Very basic statement. It went on, and it ended up with this screenshot that his simp had taken.
Simp? Who's his simp?
Oh, one of his many, real vile fans.
So you said, yeah, that's a ridiculous statement. You can't expect writers and comic artists to build a following from music and politics, lol, or even YouTube. His success had nothing to do with his actual initial product. It's his name that sold his product, just like when a politician released a book, which is fine. That's what you say.
Which is fine. That's that ending it just like, which is fine. Should have been like the end of it, right? I mean,
yeah.
So then, he obviously tagged Eric because that's what his fans do. They constantly tag Eric like, hey, look, it's a detractor. Dogpile him. And then this is what Eric responded with.
That screenshot is telling at least. But it's not that we expect people to spend 18 years building their own brand and independence like I did. It's that, for some reason, others want a similar result, having done nothing comparable. Or worse, they feel I'm undeserving. Where'd the undeserving thing come from? Did anybody tell him that like he doesn't deserve his success?
Nope. And then that's where Aaron, Immortal Rising, who got kind of put in the spotlight and all of that just for defending me, being a super nice guy. And he asked that exact question.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
He said you're undeserving. I can't find that. Can you point it out? You say you leveraged 17 years of entrepreneurial pursuits into this project. He's acknowledging that. Let me guess. He's a jealous communist too? You could have made a different product, but you chose a comic. You don't even read indies or participate in the community out here, grinding as beginning entrepreneurs, except as drama fodder. Just continue promoting a few already large money campaigns and leave us small guys alone. If you find us irrelevant or a nuisance, you're not helping the marketplace. Save your bootstraps and pie platitudes and keep walking, pal.
In a separate thread, BA says it's ridiculous that small creators would be told not to ask for promotion. Then one of Ripa's ardent followers has to go running home to Eric and tell him that someone somewhere on the internet disagreed with him. Eric, of course, retweets this, putting BA on full blast, and also takes his words out of context. Another comic creator named Immortal Rising notices this, and watch what Eric does next. You aren't going to believe this.
Anyway, Immortal Rising. What a guy. So what happened next after that? He said he's a jealous communist. Oh, you could have made a different product, but you chose a comic. You don't even read. Okay. All right. What happened then?
Well, that's what led to the whole, him doing that donation.
Did Immortal, what is his name again? Immortal Rising? Did he say something else after this?
I think they went back and forth.
He said Shurjan. He did the Shurjan meme. That's infuriating. I hate the Shurjan meme. For people who are not used to being dogpiled, it really is upsetting. People say, well, just turn off your Twitter or mute it or something like that. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what us seasoned pros do. I'm used to being dogpiled. I just mute that shit and move on. He says, hey, man, I clicked on your page and noticed you had an active campaign. You only had 10 backers in 6 months. Wow, that's rude. So what I did was...
True.
Also not true.
Yeah. So what I did was essentially fund your campaign. Of course, giving a tip to fund my comic. Did he essentially do that? Or did he actually do that?
He did.
More or less. Not in so many words. He says, here's what I'd like you to do. I can't read this.
Did you catch that? EVS couldn't even finish reading. That's how crazy Eric's Mean Girls antics were. Let's finish the clip.
Yes. Here's what I'd like you to do. Work on your attitude, because it is in a terrible spot. John, this goes for you too. Being small does not make you admirable. Nor does it justify your attitude towards creators who have worked extremely hard to get where they're at. Dismissing or attempting to devalue their efforts is such a tone-deaf thing to do. Didn't this guy just say that I think I'm the emperor of comics and that I'm more important? I think I'm more important to comics than I actually am, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much, yeah.
Why is he devaluing my efforts? I mean, I worked extremely hard to get where I'm at. 30 years of working in comics. I didn't just wake up one day and say, I think I'm going to start a comic book company. Actually, 30 years. Dismissing or attempting to devalue my efforts. Such a tone-deaf thing for him to do. I'm going to make this all about me. And will only turn people off to your product. His product. You could have made a different product was a moronic way to approach this. I think actually it's pretty good. Lastly, there is the community. That's you guys. You guys don't exist. As it pertains to independent comics, Comicsgate, he's saying, is a clique. You're around. They're not the only people that exist, and it is arrogance to operate as if it does. To tell someone they don't participate or they don't help the marketplace, despite them employing more people in comics than you ever have. I think they're all working in the warehouse packing boxes, though.
Or in Brazil.
I don't know if they're creating comics. I'm pretty sure that they're packing boxes and crates. Anyway, despite them employing more people in comics than you ever have, is incredibly stupid. You are in no position to be as dismissive and disrespectful as you are. Your project's funded, and I don't want your items. I just want you to get to work. Go be great. And work on your attitude.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck. So, a little bit of context to what he said is he actually had an Indiegogo campaign prior to this where he did get over 100 backers. I think he raised between 4,000 and 5,000. So, this is just a storefront for excess inventory.
Eric could have done something nice and just said, "Hey, I made a donation for your project." You misunderstood the context of the tweet. Hopefully we can move past our differences and grow in the indie community. Instead, he said that Immortal Rising couldn't fund his project, and also how he earned very small amounts of money compared to Eric. Eric also said he didn't actually want to receive the book, meaning he didn't care about it and wanted people to know he felt that way. Aside from Eric's cruelty to these small indie creators, it's also important to note that his statement was completely inaccurate. Immortal Rising was able to fund his project, unlike what Eric said here. The truth is that this was just his store to sell more copies after his campaign had ended. Eric could have tried to have a sweet moment of building bridges. Instead, he tried to nuke this guy from orbit. You can take a look at Immortal Rising's project on Fund My Comic. The characters look very interesting. Something about it sort of reminds me of Attack on Titan. It seems to be a fantasy, but with a heavy manga influence. Make sure to give it a look. He will drop another sequel soon. Also, B.A. Turner has a really cool project as well, a novel called Vigilante's Creed. It's about a man who is brought to the brink of death, but is saved by a divine gift, and every night transforms into a gargoyle named Dread Knight. He hunts soulless fiends and kills them. Anyway, make sure to give these projects a look. Also, I've got a fantasy novel too, called Long Live the Liar, about Brennan, a young slave who watches as his king is murdered by invaders, and he is left with the choice to run and watch as his kingdom is ruined, or stand up and rally his nation together. Thanks again, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.